Welcome to the Minority Business Report, where we talk to local businessmen and women who are making things happen in Anne Arundel County. The Minority Business Report was created to bring you information and resources to help small businesses grow and prosper. I am Joanne Jackson, Anne Arundel County Minority Business Enterprise Coordinator, and my guests today are Linda Oliff-Rohleder, owner of the Appliance Source in Annapolis, and Camellia Lane, owner of Echo Battery in Glenbury. We are delighted to have you on the show. But before we get started, would you tell our viewing audience a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what it is that you do? Linda, we'll start with you.
I was born in Washington, D.C., and raised in Prince George County for a short time until my parents were transferred to Montgomery County, where I graduated from Thomas Wooten High School. I went to Frostburg State College, and my parents moved again to Annapolis, so I returned home to Annapolis. I own a company called the Appliance Source in Annapolis, Maryland. We distribute over 30 brands of appliances to people in the building trade, such as contractors, builders, remodelers, and kitchen dealers, and the government.
Do you have any children, Linda?
I do. I have 2 children.
Okay. Did you go to college or anything like that?
I went to Frostburg State College,
okay.
And the boys both went to Salisbury University.
Okay, so you're a native Marylander.
Yes.
And Camellia?
I'm originally from upstate New York, the Rochester, New York area. I went to school at Oswego State University, where I met my husband, who's also my business partner.
And what's his name?
His name is Jack Lane.
Okay.
We moved from Jersey down to Maryland when I started working for FedEx. I was an operations manager for them for 18 years. Managed business service centers in Washington, D.C., probably for 6 years, which was a great training ground for starting my own business, actually. And the business that we did start in 1996 was Eco Battery, and we do DC power systems, backup power systems. Install them, we do preventive maintenance on them, and we also do recycling of batteries of all types, lead acid, alkaline, NiCad.
Quite interesting. And you have children?
I do, 2 boys.
Okay, great.
And 3 grandchildren.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Most of our guests over the past 5 or 6 years have been in the service industry, and we have not had a real good discussion about companies who sell commodities. So in addition to the trials and tribulations of operating a business, suppliers like yourself have the added burden of negotiating prices with manufacturers that enable them to remain competitive in the marketplace, especially if they're bidding on government contracts. Can you tell us what prompted you to pursue this line of business and why you chose to locate in Anne Arundel County? Linda, let's start with you.
I pursued this line of business in 1990 when I went to work for an appliance company as an appliance salesperson. When I was away at college, my family had moved to Annapolis, so when I returned to Annapolis and worked for many years in the appliance industry, I decided to open my store in Anne Arundel County. Yes.
And tell us about how you deal with your manufacturers.
We have many manufacturers, large manufacturers that are out of the state, like General Electric, Whirlpool, and the manufacturers certainly increase our price as they increase them across the country. We have a lot of manufacturers that try to sell appliances directly to builders. For instance, if a builder was building a multi-home project in the state of Maryland, they may buy appliances directly from General Electric. By being an MBE, we are able to get the business because we are an MBE minority company. Therefore, General Electric gives us lower pricing to be able to service that industry.
And through the course of your developing your business, your relationship with your manufacturers seemed to be one of the key components to your business.
Absolutely, because they are able to give us the pricing that we need to be able to compete in that marketplace.
Yeah.
Yes.
Camellia, tell us about your relationship with your supplier, so to speak, and why you decide to locate in Anne Arundel County?
Well, we are mainly a service business, but based on customer needs, we have become a supplier of batteries as well. One thing that we pride ourselves on is being an advocate for our customers. Batteries are very different in application and the way that they operate as well. So we try to have relationships with all the different manufacturers and bring the best possible product to our customer based on the project that they have going on. So that's how we sell our
So you said in
product.
addition to supplying the batteries, what types of things do you do?
We do the actual installations of the batteries. Like I said, we do preventive maintenance on them as well. Quality checks 3 times, 4 times a year is what we do, and we recycle them as well. There is some value in lead, as many people know, so we collect them and then send them back to a smelter to be reused. It's probably the most recyclable item in the United States right now, batteries are.
So in terms of recycling, do you, is it just for the companies that you work with?
No, we have, we're on Maryland, the Department of Environment website, so we get a lot of calls from different companies in the area, Anne Arundel County, Howard County, Virginia, D.C., to come and pick up their batteries.
Oh, that's interesting. And Linda, I didn't ask you earlier about, you have a very highly specialized field.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that designer?
Trade.
Yes.
Our business is based mostly on selling appliances, not necessarily to Mrs. Jones who needs a refrigerator because it broke down today, that she wants to pick one up immediately. We deal a lot with contractors, builders, people that are designing homes and building a brand new home or remodeling a kitchen, the industry where they need appliances, and the internet is a key component in these homeowners knowing, there are many appliances besides just one brand. So we offer a showroom with probably over 500 appliances that our clients can come in and view the different brands, get the consumer reports, and talk about which appliance fits their needs specifically. And that we, I think, accomplish well with the amount of appliances we have on our show floor.
And that leads me to my next question. I was really impressed with the variety of appliances in your showroom, and that's called the Annapolis Design Center?
The Annapolis Design District, yes. I'm the treasurer of the Annapolis Design District in Annapolis.
And I also understand that you are a certified firm. What challenges have you faced as a woman-owned business in your industry, and has that MDOT certification been of any real benefit to you?
The challenges that I've mostly faced as a woman-owned business in the appliance industry is that a lot of the appliance stores, as well as the contractors and building companies, are male-run. It is hard to break into that as a female. And becoming a minority business, the state offers tax benefits to these building companies and contractors to keep the business local, to use MBE companies such as myself. Therefore, it keeps all of the funds in the state of Maryland, in Anne Arundel County. And specifically when the manufacturer, like General Electric, goes direct to sell a local builder appliances because it's a large project, those funds would go to Kentucky, where GE is from. By dealing with us, they get the tax benefit. Because I'm an MBE company, that's been the biggest benefit. It keeps the money in Anne Arundel County and Maryland jobs and employment.
And which agencies of the state do you find you do a lot of business with your MDOT certification?
Anne Arundel County Motor Vehicles Administration. I've done work with the Proving Grounds, Aberdeen Proving Grounds, Fort Meade, Naval Academy.
Very good. That's good to hear.
Yes.
And Camellia, yours is one of the few businesses that I know that are doing business with BG&E. Your company has been in the business for over 15 years, and you've undergone some transitions. Can you tell us about your work with BG&E and what challenges you face as a minority business in that industry, and which certifications have helped you.
Okay. BG&E, we're probably one of the few minority businesses that they have on staff, and we were the first to ever receive keys to their substations, which we consider to be a great honor. But some of the challenges is that normally we're probably the only minority person or company in a room. It's a very traditional business. It's an old business. It's an old boy network, if you will, the battery business. So we kind of broke in, and people, I think, really didn't expect us to stay. But 17 years later, we're still here. And we built the business basically on recycling. That's how we started. And then based on our customers' needs for additional services, we kind of went into the installation and the sales part of it. But customer service is really what we focus on, to make sure that we're problem solvers. We try to handle the difficult things and do them well. As a minority, we always have to make sure that we are 10 times better than our competitors. And that's how we have sustained in the business. We are MDOT certified, which has been really good for us. Our first major contract was with Maryland Transit Administration. We replaced their substation batteries. We've done work for MVA as well. So, it has been helpful to be MDOT certified. And we were also an 8A firm as well for 9 years, excuse me. But we've graduated from the program. And that allowed us to do a lot of business with the government. Western Area Power out in Colorado, we basically lived out there for about 3 or 4 years, which was really, really lucrative for our company at the time.
And what agency was that through?
Department of Energy.
Okay. How did you get the BG&E contract?
It's interesting. We had been going after BG&E for years, and we just kept plugging. We started out just asking them if we could recycle their batteries. That's all we wanted to do. Can we pick them up? Can we dispose of them for you? And we managed to do that, and they paid us a little penny for that. And then they decided to outsource their preventive maintenance. And because we were in contact and diligent, they called us and asked us if we would bid on it. And we did, and we were the lowest bidder.
So you didn't use any Minority Supplier Development Council contacts? You just was your own personal business development?
Absolutely. On that one it was. Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
We often talk about developing good working relationships and strategic partnerships as a key to business success. Over the years, who has been your strategic partner and/or supporter? Linda.
The strategic partners that I would find invaluable in my business would be local businesses, local kitchen dealers, family-owned businesses locally, builders, kitchen dealers, people who are in this industry have been a big advocate of staying local, supporting local business. The minority, the MBE certification has been instrumental in me achieving larger contracts that I otherwise wouldn't have had, again, combating the manufacturers directly. And as well, we have a few distributors that sell, for instance, Fretz Corporation sells us Sub-Zero and Wolf product. They are firm advocates of not going into big box stores and going through suppliers like ourselves. And that has been a huge help because it gives us a niche in the industry.
Are you affiliated with any of the industry associations or the chambers of commerce?
Absolutely. Anne Arundel, Chamber of Commerce, Talbot Chamber of Commerce. Of course, there are certain business associations, NARI. I'm a member of NARI.
What does that stand for?
National Association of Remodeling Industry. And I'm also Kitchen NKBA, National Kitchen and Bath Association. And as well, I mentioned the Annapolis Design District. It's a local group of business owners off of basically Chinkapin Round Road, back through Forest Drive and down to the city of Annapolis, that are trying to beautify and make that area what it should be.
And I thought I heard you mention earlier, are you a member of an association that's affiliated with that district, the design district?
Absolutely, that's the one that I preside as treasurer on.
Okay, what's the name of it again?
Again, it's the Annapolis Design District.
Oh, okay, very interesting. You learn something every day.
Yes.
Camellia, tell us about your affiliations and strategic partners.
We've had some really long-term customers from the very beginning. They've been our supporters and our lifeline, and they continue to use us. And there's really two that we can point to. And some of the battery manufacturers as well have been great supporters of ours as well. They've allowed us good pricing to be competitive on projects, so we consider them to be partners as well. Recently, we started getting involved with the Maryland-Washington Minority Companies Association, which has been very helpful in making introductions to the larger companies and getting us in the door so that we can increase our business.
And that's how I met you.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
There was a big forum at Maryland Live Casino, sponsored by the casino and the Maryland-Washington Minority Companies Association.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And haven't you won some recent awards?
Yeah, we each year, well, for the past 2 or 3 years, we've been awarded the largest minority business by the Business Journal.
Oh,
Business,
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because you're right here in Anne Arundel County, and the fact that I had never met you folks before was a eye opener for me. So I thought we'd bring you on the show.
Thank you.
It's been an interesting year for small businesses. We now have access to capital with lower interest rates. More banks are opening branches in the county, and the new Volt loan program for small, minority, and women-owned businesses, which is funded by the Maryland casinos. Where do you see your business going in the next few years, and what type of investments, if any, do you plan to make in 2014, Linda?
In 2014, I plan on making a few investments in my company. I would definitely like to expand my showroom, and we definitely need to add a new delivery truck and some new delivery personnel so that we can expand our delivery capabilities. I'm going to look into some of those low-interest funding loans.
Okay.
As I've used SBA always in the past, it's been instrumental in getting capital that I need to run the business, either in slow times or in startup. So I'm planning to use those funds to expand and add additional staff and delivery trucks to my company.
And for 2014 and beyond, what is your vision? Do you see your sales increasing?
Absolutely.
Do you see things leveling off?
I have seen an increase, I think, this year. It's gradual, and we're holding our breath. I've seen an increase in the construction business. Certainly the housing market affects my business. So I have seen an increase, and it's been steady. I will be moving in the direction of hopefully expanding into a new location as well, but I'm going to go slowly to make sure it's really back and it's really coming back pretty steadily.
And we talked a lot about the Annapolis office, but you have other locations.
Right now I have a store in Easton. Yes.
Okay.
Easton, Maryland. I'd like to have one at the beach.
Ocean City.
Ocean City, yeah.
All right. Well, you know, there's the Volt Loan program is not just for businesses here in Anne Arundel County, but there is an Eastern Shore component operating through the casino.
Well, that's excellent to
Ocean
hear.
City, yeah.
I was not aware of that.
I think that's Worcester County.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's where the
So their
ocean-
economic development person, if you need a contact, we can call the Anne Arundel Economic Development Office,
Great.
Economic Development Corporation, and they can give you those contacts.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah. So what investments do you think you'll be making this year? in your business?
Probably the biggest investment we'll be making is in our equipment. Since we've been in business for a while, our equipment is a little aged. So for, we have a warehouse, 3,000 square feet, we house the products and things like that. So we need forklift, electric pallet jack, that kind of thing. Also, we do plan to hire some more folks probably next year as well.
Good to hear.
Yeah. And invest in training as well. We always need to keep our personnel up to speed on the latest and greatest technologies and processes. So that's what we'll be doing as well.
Have you ever utilized the Workforce Development Agency here in the county?
No,
For staffing?
I haven't.
We can also give you some contacts for that.
Okay.
They do a really good job of pre-training a lot of their folks, and if they know that you have special needs, they'll try to design a program for your special needs, especially like electricians. They have to be electrical skilled.
Right,
in the-
certified.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Are they more office related, or the jobs themselves will be in the field?
They will be more technical,
Technical,
yes.
okay.
Dealing with electricity. Yeah, low voltage electricity.
Okay. So you just have your one shop, which is not too far from here.
Exactly, yes.
And what's the address for a public audience?
It's 510 McCormick Drive
Okay.
in Glen Burnie,
Right.
Suite P and Q.
As we close out this segment of our show, what recommendations or words of advice would you give someone interested in starting a business selling products today? Linda.
I would first tell anyone starting a new business to sell products would be to take their business plan to the local banks to see what government loans are out there. Again, I mentioned SBA in the beginning was one of the only loans that I was able to acquire given I was a new startup company. And it was really beneficial. Me opening my showroom in Annapolis, that's where I got the funding to build out the showroom, and I was able to pay it off in 2 years. But I needed that funding to be able to open to do that. So I think first and foremost is to make sure that you have good financing. Secondly, I would tell someone just to surround yourself with people in the industry, surround yourself with local businesses and people who can really support you and believe in keeping business local, and I think that's what helps you grow in the marketplace.
And I
knowing
think
your
there's a
market.
movement. There's a movement in Annapolis I've been reading where different groups, I think it's Annapolis Professional Association, is really pushing this buy local.
Absolutely.
We all need to do that.
Absolutely. It keeps our business and our money local.
Right.
It's our tax dollars, and it's what we use to run our state. So
Yeah.
it's important.
Camellia, what words of advice would you give a new entrepreneur?
I would give them the advice of to make sure that you know your product well, and to know your competitors as well, so that you can position yourself well, and also to be in tune with what your customers' needs are. That's extremely important, so that you can deliver the product that they need or want at the time. We too started off and had an SBA loan, which was very, very beneficial in the beginning. And then recently we actually qualified for a line of credit with our bank, which has been very helpful.
You want to give them a plug? Who's that?
BB&T.
Okay.
Yeah, that has been very, very helpful for us in expanding and being able to meet fluctuations. Right now I think there's not a lot of, business has kind of been slow because I think a lot of people have been holding on to their money this year. So I'm hoping that next year they'll loosen up a bit and we'll be able to hire people and do some things.
So one thing we didn't touch on was the marketing end of your business. You do have existing contracts, but what would you say about your marketing? Does that need to increase? Are you looking for new clients? Because I find a lot of small businesses starting out, they don't have a marketing focus. They don't seem to know who to market to, even though, oh, I need clients, but they haven't figured that one out. You want to say something about that, Linda?
Well, I would begin by saying every year, whether you're a good company or not, you typically lose 10% of your business. So you should always be trying to achieve new clients. The marketing is, I think, a lot of it comes from getting out and joining local associations, getting involved with your government. That opens doors for you to meet people that I think help you grow your business and to gain new clients. Knowing your product, I think if you, like you had said earlier, knowing your product helps you know who you need to sell to. And I'm old-fashioned. I believe in knocking on doors and getting on the phone and calling people. We'll use the internet some, but the counties as well, they have builders, licenses, that's public information.
Yeah.
You can get, who all the licensed, at least in my industry, who the licensed builders and licensed businesses that I provide appliances to. So that's been instrumental, as well as the local county offices that tell me who are building homes, because they apply for permits. That's public information as well.
Okay, interesting.
So, yeah.
And Camellia, marketing, where do you feel, how do you use that in your business?
Well, this year we've done a lot of marketing.
Okay.
Because we've been through a transition as well. We separated from our partners who were our sales and marketing force. So my husband and I have had to do a lot more of that this year. We've reached out to the organizations, done a lot more on the internet, because people do find you through searches. So we make sure that the keywords are updated and those kinds of things. But it's very time consuming. Yes. Because we wear so many hats as small business owners. I mean, I do the financials, I do the facilities, and now I've had to add marketing to that as well, and sales. So we're very busy. But and you've got to learn to use your resources well too. So when we have downtimes, we use our employees to help with marketing and canvassing, going door to door, and so we get creative.
Well, I'm kind of remiss because you guys have been around for so long, and I just ran into you recently, and I was flipping through the directory, and I was like, well, who can I get on my show? And I said I had not talked to you. Yes. So I'm really glad that you guys could be on the show with us today, and thank you so very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Camellia and Linda, for your insights and recommendations. Stay tuned to Channel 98, Verizon 38 for the Minority Business Report, airing daily at 1 and 5 p.m. If you have any comments or questions, please contact me at the Office of Central Services in Annapolis on 410-222-7620. We are here working for you. Peace and blessings. The following bids are available from the Anne Arundel County Purchasing Office.